Hey everyone, it's Darby from Blue Television Games. Welcome to the 1 hour 10 item challenge episode 9 subscriber levels. There were more than 80 levels submitted. I'm going to show you every single level, but since there is so many, this will be broken up into multiple videos. The 10 items you were allowed to use were question mark blocks, mushrooms, semi-solid platforms, pipes, chain chomps, bill blasters, munchers, POW blocks, coins, vines, and as always, you'll get ground and checkpoints. Okay, the first level for this episode is POWPOW Lake. I'm about 57 levels out of 82 done so far, so this will be multiple episodes. So if yours has not shown up yet in one of these videos, just keep waiting because I'm going to show everyone that was submitted. I thought this was a cool take on a water level with auto-scrolling. The semi-solid platforms look pretty nice here. I like how he decorated the level. Needing the POW blocks to get through with the auto-scrolling worked well. And I like that there was alternate routes. I thought this part was really cool with the POW blocks coming down to create a little bridge for you to hop across. Chain chomp was a little bit hard to dodge. I thought this was really cool, how you run through this little section here from the top of the semi-solid. Always adds a lot when people take the time to add little aesthetic things to their level. And this part tripped me up a little bit, because when I went to hit this POW block, it kind of bounced off my head. Right about here. Just kind of hit it at a weird angle. It created a little bit of a problem, because I had no way to get through. The coins here were a little randomly scattered. I'm not sure if there was a point to it. As far as I could tell, that wasn't really helpful in any way to lead me into a safe path, but maybe it does. I'm not sure. This was definitely probably the trickiest section of the level. Turning into Pac-Man definitely felt at home, although I was only able to keep the amiibo costume for a few seconds there. Definitely love having checkpoints. Some of these levels go really quick, where I can beat them in a couple minutes, but some of the levels you guys have submitted have been really challenging and really tough, so it's taking a long time to do this. Once I figured out the right path to take, this part wasn't so bad, but it caught me off guard a few times where I died instantly when I came out of that pipe. So definitely a creative underwater level. I definitely enjoyed this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. Next up, we have Chomper's Trees. Let's go ahead and start it up. I think using Mario 3 with the airship theme worked really good here. The airship does look a little bit like a tree, and the fact that he had vines to use worked great as leaves. Also, the box background kind of looks like a tree as well. So this ended up looking really cool the way he had this designed. I also like the fact that it feels like you're climbing up a tree, since Mario Maker doesn't allow you to make vertical stages. Using the pipes, I think, is the best solution here. I like the little bit of puzzle elements here, where it's not really a mind-bending puzzle or anything, but you still have to look for the POW blocks to get through, so that's pretty cool. And with the way he has this set up, this level definitely gets its own little theme quick. It all goes together very nice and just looks great. Definitely love how each section looks very similar, but has a little bit of a different objective or way to go up as opposed to the previous section. And this little checkpoint's great, and this actually leads us to my favorite part of the level, where you start going down instead of up. I think it's just really cool how he does this. So now that we've made it to this other tree, now we'll start descending. And this is the part I was talking about. Makes really good use of the raccoon suit. As you can see, you can kind of flutter down. And I like the way he used coins to kind of guide you in these first few sections. In this part, he didn't give you the coin, so it's a little bit more challenging. I love when the challenge ramps up as you go. Also, having this suit allows you to smack the POW blocks with your tail, which is a good option. And there we are at the end. Definitely another great level. Had a lot of fun with this one. I loved the look of it, and I really loved how you used the vertical space so well. Next up, we have the Overgrown Castle. A lot of these styles, you guys did great with the background elements and the semi-solids. It just looks really nice how you guys took the time to decorate your levels. I really like this section, how he has the bricks at the bottom with the semi-solid. It looks really nice. I love the alternate where you can go above the Bill Blaster, where you could try to jump down below there. I think that's great. There's a risk-reward factor up here if you want to take this pipe into a secret area. I just had to go up there and see what was up there. Figured it had to be good. Almost missed the chain chomp, but he still got me. And here's the secret area, which is really cool. I like the use of the fireworks and all the crazy music. I think if you're going to use sound effects, secret areas are the best place. I was happy to find the Waluigi costume. However, out of habits, I found this other amiibo costume and I snagged it and turned back into regular Luigi. But I think that's really cool in Mario 1 style for the hidden area to include a secret amiibo costume. Definitely makes it fun. Definitely encourages you to explore through the rest of the level. This part was a little tricky the first time because I missed that POW block. Actually not really that hard, you just have to make sure you hit the POW block on your way through. And we reached the end. Definitely another great level. I love the aesthetics of it, and the challenge was really nice. There was definitely some hard spots, but nothing too crazy, so it was very fun to play through this one. Alright, next up we have 1 hour 10 item challenge. I just think these items really worked well together. So definitely kudos on these 10 items. Good old Nick OneTen, I believe, chose these 10 items. I think he just selected ones that really worked well together, even in different themes. This level definitely made good use of the vertical space. I also enjoy the semi-solid you put here. I think it looks really cool in this little C-shaped section. Timing the jumps on these actually was a little tricky. First time I tried it, I just wasn't quite ready, but it's actually not that hard once you figure out how exactly you're supposed to jump on them. Definitely a few times where I was a little bit lost on where to go on this level, but I think that was part of the idea, was it to be a little bit of a puzzle. Just had to make sure you paid attention for things like that giant muncher there. You know, when you see stuff like that, you're probably going to need a POW block to get through. This level had a good length. I liked that some people weren't afraid to make a shorter level. Some of you really went out of your way and made these really long, crazy levels, which is great too. But sometimes it's fun just to play a nice little level like this with light puzzles, great aesthetics. Once again, another great level. Great job on this one. Next up, we have Let's a POW, a Muncher story. Alright, now this was a puzzle level. I'm just going to show you my completed run. But it took me a little bit to figure this out right. You have to throw the POW blocks into the brick down here. It's the only way to keep it from killing that giant muncher right here I'm about to drop this POW on. And you actually have to use him as a little elevator to get up here. You can see I screwed it up, but the general idea is to drop the POW block on him and ride him up, which I thought was a really cool little puzzle. A little bit tricky to get it to line up right, but once you do, you get up here. If you used all the POW blocks correctly, you can take out this chain chomp here. Once you do that, you can collect the axe. This puzzle was mainly just good use of POW blocks. If you screwed it up, maybe there's more than one way to beat it, but this run was the best run I had come up with. Definitely cool to see some puzzle levels thrown in here. Next up, we have 1 hour 10 item challenge. So it definitely seemed like there was an overwhelming amount of POW blocks used to get past Munchers. I think that's just an easy go-to idea for these items. I did see this used a few times, which I thought was cool. I like the Bill Blaster sinking into the lava. It's always a good challenge. I thought he was pretty creative with his ways to traverse this level. Just, you know, using the bullet bills to jump through a semi-solid platform right there I thought was really cool. I saw this used a few times, which I think is a great technique, is that's using the POW blocks to make a little bit of a ladder to get up. Once you get all that stacked up, you can go to this next section. Once again, you see a giant muncher, you know you're going to need a POW block, but nothing you have to overthink here. He made it nice and easy to get through. This part was cool because it allowed you to fly a bit, and that's always really fun to get to use the raccoon suit in that way. Then you hit the axe and finish the level. Once again, another nice short level. Fits in great with the Mario 3 theme, just because the Mario 3 levels were pretty short for the most part. Alright, next up we have Crunchy Caverns. This level makes really good use of repetition and increasing the difficulty ever so slightly as you go through the level. It's also decorated pretty cool. And when it's well done, it's always kind of cool to have a section where you have to go back the way you came with an item to get through. In this case, we needed this POW block to get through to the next section. Great place for a checkpoint. That's definitely one of those sections you're not going to want to have to do over and over again. Nice little hidden pipe up here, which just gives you a little bit of a bonus area. I already had a power up, so it really wasn't that much help to me, but I still always appreciate when people take the time to make hidden areas. Here's good use of repetition again, where each section gets a little bit more difficult. I was tempted to see what was in that block down there, but I figured I'd probably get killed, so I just kept going. Imagine there's a power-up of some kind down there, though. Definitely think your checkpoints were well placed in this. You put them in places where people wouldn't have to redo really tedious parts. This part right here was definitely the most challenging part of your level. I'm sure there was the best paths to go through this, and I wasn't really sure what they were. But after multiple tries, it seemed like the best route was to take a hit somewhere along the way. I also think it's good you included the last section as your hardest section, because it's definitely great when the difficulty vamps up throughout your level. Another great level there. Very fun to play. Next up, we have Chain Chomp Lair for Darby. Always appreciate the shout out, guys, so it's cool of you to mention me. Always love the castle theme in New Super Mario Bros. U style. It just always looks really nice. Really impressed by how many of you used the semi-solid platforms really nice in this. He took the time to arrange background elements so they looked nice. His layout of his coins, everything about this, I just think he did a real great job with the aesthetics of the level. And you'll hear me mention that a lot in this video and the future videos for the levels that won't be in this one. Just everyone did a really good job decorating their levels on this. I was really impressed by all of you. And like I said, you know, there's 82 levels submitted. Some of these levels taking 15, 30 minutes to beat. So it's a long process. It's taken me hours to do. I've made it almost through 60 of the levels so far. I have about 25 more to do, and I'll have them all recorded. And then once I edit out all the deaths, I have to add my live commentary. It's just a big process. It's taking forever. As always, I appreciate the checkpoint back there. That's really nice. I got lucky with my blind jump right there. And at the end, he included this mini little boss fight, which I thought was pretty cool. I was able to spin jump off that chain chomp and take a hit and hit the axe and finish the level. Another great level. It looked great. As I said, I just always love the castle theme in New Super Mario Bros. U style. It just always looks really cool. Alright, next up we have Ghost Town. I love these little buildings he made here. It just looks really cool with the semi-solids. Like the little roof chimney looking thing. I just think that looks really cool. Whatever you're going for there, it definitely looked like little buildings, and I like how you repeated them. I just always think repetition looks great, and I like how these buildings are just slightly different, but they look enough alike where it gives this level its own little feel. It's very cool. Once again, in this section, there's lots of cool little semi-solids and stuff that really add to the look of the level. These skulls poking out look really cool in this underground section. I just like the little aesthetics he had, like the bill blasters down there. It looked like they're holding parts of the level up. Little vines hanging down. All goes together really well. How he closed in those little gate section back there, that looks really good. I decided just to go ahead and go through here. We'll leave whatever's up top for you guys, but once I got over here, I realized I was going to need another POW block to finish it. So, decided to go looking for that POW block, and there was one sure enough right there. Nice and easy to get to. Had to be a little careful because I was little Mario. I didn't want to die, but I was able to finish the level. Another fantastic level. It'll be really hard picking my top 10 favorites from this series. I'll probably do top 10 again. Maybe top 5. We'll see. We'll see what I can narrow it down to. It was hard last time, and there was about 30 or 40 levels, I believe. At this time, there's more than double that, so... Alright, this is another 1 hour 10 item challenge named level. This level I had a little bit of trouble with this first section at first. It's just one of them situations where you need to really pay attention to the movement of the chain chomps so they don't get you. Taking a few out, making sure you get that power up's definitely essential. Makes this whole thing a lot easier. I do like how that POW block appeared between the chain chomp post. I thought that was really cool. A lot of people use bill blasters in this way, you know, to make it across the big gap. Once again, I can never emphasize enough how awesome checkpoints are, especially when you're playing 80-some levels. You know, it makes it easy. If I die, I can edit out a lot of the deaths a lot easier. It just makes everything go quicker, too. Another level that I thought had a good length. I think it's cool when people don't stretch the level to the end and make a sub-world that goes all the way to the end. Sometimes it's nice just to have a level that's, you know, to the point. Nothing too crazy long. So this was definitely another fun level. Next up, we have 1 hour challenge Chomp Fleet. I think anytime people make a little design, they make it real symmetrical like this. It looks really great. Then as you go, you can see he put a little extra work here and there into his level as well. Taking the extra time to add to the aesthetics of the level can really, you know, it'll get you a lot more stars. People notice that, you know, your level just looks nice. And even if they can't beat it, sometimes people still give you a star just because they appreciate, you know, you taking the time to make your level look nice. I thought this was a cool way to use bill blasters, where you had to duck under them instead of being able to jump on them or over them. The hanging chain chomps, I think, always look cool. I really like the way these ones look, too, how they're inside that little boat-looking thing and they jump out at you. That's really cool. Once again, more symmetrical parts, which always look nice. Here we have a little mini boss fight that I thought was pretty cool. Nothing too hard to take out, though. It's pretty easy to get through this. And you arrive at the end. Another great level, guys. You guys are really impressing me. I have so many levels to show you still, even in this episode, so I'm pretty excited about how awesome all you did. All right, next up we have 1 hour 10 item challenge 9. Let's go ahead and start this up. This one comes from Martin. This one starts out pretty cool. The only issue I had is if you jump too high here, you'll actually get stuck in that semi-solid right there. Once again, he uses the bill blasters to get across this gap here. I had a couple timing issues with that part I just beat there, but it only took me a couple tries to get that part right. I always like floating down with the feather, using the raccoon tail to kind of just descend slowly. I think that's always kind of a cool little challenge. And of course, checkpoints. I love checkpoints. Can't emphasize that enough. We should include checkpoints in every level that's decently long. If you have a sub area, you might as well put a checkpoint. Now this part was actually pretty hard. It was really tricky to hit this question mark block and get this POW block here without getting hit. Then I realized I probably needed to grab it and swim. It was still pretty tricky to get this POW block. Probably the hardest part of your level. And here we have the Bill Blaster part repeated. I always like repetition in levels, so I thought this was cool that you brought this back. And as you can see here, I was a little bit short. So it took me a couple tries. I got it on my second try here. I just was a little bit short the first time, but definitely a cool little stage. Had fun with this one. Next up, we have 1 hour 10 item challenge for Blue Television Games. The beginning of this one was a little bit too busy for my liking. There was just a little bit too much going on. I do like when you have a few seconds to breathe at the beginning of a level so you can kind of get your footing and figure out what to do. I do, however, really like the vines here. I think it looks really cool how the vines go all the way up to the top. I also thought this was a unique little puzzle here. Once you hit enough of those POW blocks, or throw enough of them, you can get that Bill Blaster to go down so you can get through here. But once again, you had a semi-solid there, so you could get stuck up there. I didn't, but you know, it's always kind of scary when the semi-solids go all the way up to the top like that. The Mario World underwater theme has some really nice semi-solids too. They always look really cool. I decided I'd go ahead and take an extra POW block with me because you never know when you'll need a POW block. They come in handy, even if it's just to take a couple enemies out. And as always, checkpoints are awesome. Here I actually jumped above a semi-solid, but luckily you had a place to drop down, so it was no big issue. There were a couple parts in this level where I felt like you weren't expecting the player to still be Super Mario. There was kind of some unnecessary sliding. That semi-solid would have been one shorter, been a little bit easier to get down there. Here we have the axe, but we can't get to it yet, so I knew I had to find the POW blocks. I actually thought this was really cool, because it shows you what each pipe has. So, you know, it's kind of a guessing game. Even if you went into the chain chomp one, you would have a second to get out of it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Next up, we have 1 hour 10 item challenge. This was one of the toughest levels I played. This playthrough will show me going through it pretty quick, but it was actually just really challenging. Not even sure that I actually did this the way that the creator intended. There's a pretty short time limit on this as well. Only way I could figure out how to get through here was to take a couple hits, get this POW block, and hurry up and use it. Once I got down here, I could get another power up. And I have to go down here rather quickly, grab another POW block, take out as many Munchers as I could, hurry up and swim up here. And then you have this last little section here. Actually gotten through most of the tough parts. It's just hard to get through all those sections. There's a lot of places where you have to take forced hits, which I'm not really a big fan of. This part was rather confusing. The first time I played it, I went up to get that star. I don't know if that's just there to distract the player, but I went up to get the star and I ran out of time. On this playthrough here, I knew what to do. I knew I just needed to go through the tunnel real quick. I'm not sure if that's a little troll section or just a section you kind of didn't think all the way through, but still decently fun stage. Next up, we have Blue Television Games 10 Item Challenge 9. Now this level I really liked a lot. There's really good use of amiibo costumes. Always think the frog suit's really fun. I like how he repeats the platforms here, pipe, and then the little T-shaped platforms he made out of ground. The airship theme in Super Mario Bros. 1 looks really nice. I really like what they did with the theme for this. So I was glad he chose that. He also, like many others, used the bullet bills to get from section to section. They work great to hop on to get across big gaps. Of course, right there I went a little bit short, but that was just me, you know, playing way too many levels in a row and cutting my jumps a little short. I was getting impatient at this point. Jump actually isn't that hard, it's pretty forgiving. Finally got my checkpoint. But I use the vertical space pretty nice there. I like going up and then back down. This Donkey Kong section's great. Always think vines work great with Donkey Kong amiibos. Thought this was a creative little mini puzzle here. You have to be high enough for the POW blocks to drop down. Then you can traverse down below. And he repeats this a couple times, but each time it gets a little bit harder. Always a big fan of the difficulty vamping up like that. Once again, we have to go up high enough for the pipe to drop the POW block down. That way you can jump onto the Munchers. And here we go with the difficulty vamped up just a little bit more. We got chain chomps and bill blasters to dodge. We get the POW block to drop down. We can jump on it and jump over. And now we have our exit pipe. There's lots of good uses of repetition, and I'm sure if you follow the channel, you've seen a few of these stages before. He always does a great job decorating his levels as well. And as you see here, I mean, it's the same idea over and over again, but each section gets just a little bit more difficulty. Or a little bit more difficult. And I do apologize for some of my commentary with me stuttering and stuff, but just due to the lack of time I have to play all these levels, a lot of you have been really wanting me to get another video out. So a lot of this commentary is just me doing live on the spot commentary, so it's not as smooth as some of my other videos. I apologize for that, but I'm just trying to do my best to get these 1 hour 10 item challenge videos out as quickly as possible. One little tricky jump right there with those Munchers. I've seen a couple levels, not sure if I've shown you guys any, but I've seen a couple other levels that did something similar to this where you have to ride a POW block to get across. The chain chomp with the Muncher and the POW block works great for this. This section isn't that hard and it's really fun to do. So I like sections like this in levels. Here's the last little challenge is you need to hit that POW block so you can go through the final pipe here. I lost my power up, of course. I'm always good at doing that when I need it the most. But I was able to hit the POW block and go through the pipe to finish up the level. And there we go. Another fantastic level. Definitely enjoyed this one a lot. Really well put together, and I liked a lot how you used a lot of repetition with the difficulty ramping up as you go. Alright, next up we have Through the Munchers and Chomps. With this one we have the Ghost House theme, which we haven't seen a lot of. Actually got a pretty lucky shot there, taking both those out with one POW block. Now here I knew I needed a P-switch or a mushroom to get through. This stage definitely had a nice aesthetic to it. I like the way they used the semi-solids there. Kind of look like little beams in the background. I thought that was pretty cool. Wasn't really sure if there was a POW block I could get there, but I found just running across the Munchers, collecting the checkpoint worked just as well. I actually think the Ghost House theme, especially in Super Mario World, worked really well with these enemy types and the items given. Cape was definitely very helpful because you could take out the chain chomps pretty easy with it. I kept ending up with extra POW blocks, but the way you put these breakable bricks here, it made it to where I couldn't easily take the POW block with me, which was definitely a good move. Definitely appreciate all the checkpoints. It makes it a lot less tedious. It took me a bit of time to get the timing down on this part. As you can see, I just jumped off the edge there. But eventually I figured that part out. This was another part that I had a little bit of trouble with trying to figure out where I was supposed to go next. My first instinct was to go back towards the beginning of the level. As you can see here, it just is 100% not the right way to go. I did have the right idea by taking the POW block with me. I was just doing it for, an extra hit or in case I needed one down the road. As you can see here, there's not really any obvious indication of where I should be going next. That was one of the only issues I really saw with this level. Now that arrow right there definitely helped, but by the time I figured out I needed to throw the POW block and go through there, it was too late. On my second try, it wasn't so bad. I made that jump really well, but then still jumped right into those chain chomps' faces. I like the way you layered the semi-solid with the ground pieces there. I thought that looked really nice. And we made it to the end. Definitely cool to see the Ghost House theme. It was a little bit different than some of the other levels. And this one had a lot of potential. I feel like if you had a little bit more time put into it, you definitely could have done even better. Next up, we have Bills, Chomps, and Munchers. So here we have an airship with the auto-scrolling, which I think airship-themed stages with auto-scrolling always look better than the ones that are stationary, especially since the course automatically kind of drifts up and down. I like how you decorated each of these platforms with the little light post and the little fences or whatever you want to call them. I'm also glad throughout these stages to see a lot of different themes and styles used. Always like when coins guide you back there. When I could do that ground pound, I was pretty confident that those coins were leading me to somewhere I could land. I always think using coins to guide the player is a great move. I love doing the ground pound onto a block and getting all the coins. I always think that looks really funny. Here, once again, you put a little layer of coins there that kind of show me where to land. Once again, I just think that's great. Makes it to where I don't have to worry I'm going to jump into a bottomless pit. I will say after playing multiple levels that the chain chomps coming out of the pipes, there's not really a good way to get enough warning. They come out pretty fast, so it's definitely tricky. But yet another fun level. I enjoyed the auto-scrolling with the airship theme. Definitely fun to play through. Next up, we have chain chomping bullet blasters. And here was a situation where I wasn't 100% sure where I should be going. I assumed grabbing those vines and going up the pipe was the right route. I wasn't really 100% sure. Jump was just slightly tricky. I'm also not the greatest with the propeller suit, so that's probably partially my bad. But I eventually got up to those vines and got up through the pipe to the next section of your level. I like the little arrow you made out of coins there. That looked pretty cool. Hi. Well, hello. I always like little messages left for the player too. That's always kind of funny. Basically, once you get this propeller suit, it's game over. You can get to the flag and finish the level. Next up, we have 1 hour 10 item challenge, Chain Chomps, blue television game, short. As I've said many a times before, new Super Mario Bros. U theme with the castle always looks great. Just think they did a great job with the way the bricks look on this and the lava and that really distant background with all the beams and the windows. I just think it looks great. Those chain chomps are pretty relentless coming out of pipes. But you have a very nice and short level here. I feel like if the level was maybe twice as long and it started a little bit more peaceful, maybe just, you know, it just seemed like it was pretty intense and then really short, I think, you know, a longer level would have been better. Next up, we have Muncher Mines. You had me at Super Mario Bros. 3 style. It's definitely my favorite. The underground theme looks really nice here. And once again, you gotta hand it to Nick OneTen. These items just really do go well together. The Bill Blasters and the Munchers have a similar color to them, including the bullet bills when they come out. Vines always work great for decoration. I think almost everyone used the vines as decoration in their levels. I like how he made little hole patches in the ground with vines here and there. It looks really nice. The semi-solids in Mario 3's underground level are very strange, very sci-fi, so they're pretty hard to use. As always, checkpoints are great. I do like how you took the time to get the background elements lined up so you have a little bit extra design here and there. It looks really nice. And another short level. I always think short levels with Mario Bros. 3 theme work pretty well since, like I said before, Mario 3 levels were typically pretty short. Alright, next up we have Blue Television Games 1 Hour 10 Item Challenge 9. I like how you spaced that out so that the chain chomps would fall into the gap back there. I thought that was cool. I've seen a couple other levels do this where you get between 2 chain chomps to get through a section. It's definitely really cool to have a chain chomp following you and then another one in front of you, so you have to kind of be the monkey in the middle, I guess. I definitely initially had the wrong idea for this part, and then I figured out the trick to it, as I'll show you here. The idea was you wanted to drop POW blocks down to block the Bill Blasters so they couldn't shoot out. And I actually thought this was a really cool idea, and I don't think I've seen anyone else ever do that. It'd be kind of cool to make a level where you had to block Bill Blasters with POW blocks so that you could get through sections easier. I also thought this little section with the Bill Blasters and the chain chomps was pretty cool. Definitely some creative little ideas here and there. That was really cool too. Those POW blocks were blocking all these Bill Blasters. And once you throw one, they all collapse, and then you have the homing, whatever they're called. Whatever the bullet bills where they are like heat seeking. I can't think of what they're called right now. Please forgive me because I am super tired, and I've recorded and played way too many video games today. If you're a fan of the Darby and Laura Lee Plays series, we actually recorded like 6 episodes of 3 or 4 different games today. On top of that, I edited this whole video, and now I'm adding the commentary, so I'm a little bit tired. But I am trying my best to get these videos out to you guys as quick as possible. So thank you for your patience. And, you know, things should start going smoother here once things slow down a little for me and I have a little bit more time to do all this. You guys are the best subs. You keep watching my videos, give me a thumbs up and all that. So I definitely appreciate everything you guys do. And that's why I do these crazy things where I have to play 82 of your levels and make all these videos for you guys, because it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of work, and I just ask all you, try to be patient as you can. Well, that concludes that level. Another fun level. Mario World levels are always fun to play through. Next up, we have the Land of the Floating Islands. I liked this little section where you jump from vine to vine to get over the Munchers. I thought these water sections looked pretty nice. I like how you repeated these little arrow-looking things with the question mark blocks and the Munchers here and there. Also, the pipes at the bottom to make the bottom of the level look nice. And I like the little chain chomps hopping out and trying to get you. I also like how you highlighted where you could stand with the coins. You actually stand in the middle where the coins were. The chain chomps will go over your head, so you kind of mark the safe spots. And it's a nice little twist, because normally you'd want to be where the coins are at, and in this case you kind of want to be in the middle of the coins, that way you don't get hit. That part I assumed was a forced hit part, because you had to be small to get through there. Never really a big fan of forcing you to become small Mario. But, you know, sometimes people like to use that for their levels for whatever reason. I just always thinking forced hit's not the way to go, really. Alright, so it took me forever, but eventually I got my feather. Here I was able to fly over a couple sections here. Your little islands look pretty interesting with the question mark blocks here and there. Also a pretty random little checkpoint. At this part, I felt a little bit lost. I wasn't really sure if I should be going right, or if I was heading the right way originally and I should be going left. Finally, I came to the conclusion that since the flag appeared when I was heading left, maybe I would just keep going left and hope for the best. And sure enough, that was actually the correct way. But I did feel a little bit lost in that section. Smacking things with the tail is always fun to do, so I was glad I still had this power up. Of course, I lost it at the giant chain chomp, but I was able to get to the next pipe. And there we are at the end of the level. That'll conclude the levels for this episode. There are still plenty more to come. I had 82 levels total, I believe, and there was a couple repeats somehow, and there was only a couple levels where you used enough of the wrong items to where I didn't include them in the video. But there will be plenty more episodes of this coming out. I plan to show everyone's level that was submitted. Till next time, see you guys around.